Good evening. It's quite a late night rather than evening for me. Baldy Chris again. Just thought I would have another crack at getting the rat items in the ongoing quest for the finished gun. So I'm gonna get straight into it. Playing as the gunslinger just to maximise my chances when we do reach the rat fight, or just with whatever weapons get picked up really. The gunslinger getting all the synergies with the weapons that he picks up, as I explained in the series I did where I played as every character. So there we are. Yeah, had a house guest earlier tonight of the unwelcome variety. It was I'd been having my dinner and was watching a bit of telly on iPlayer after I'd had my meal, and this gigantic spider crawled along the wall beside the screen. I mean, it was huge. I'm not quite arachnophobic. I'm not actively scared of them. I definitely don't like them. And the bigger they are, the worse it gets. I mean, this thing was it was like Dwayne the Rock Johnson of the spider world. It was absolutely gigantic. So I went and got a pint glass to capture it, because I don't like to kill them. I mean, they horrible little things as they are. Well, big things as they are in that case. There's no reason to want to splatter them everywhere. Apart from everything else you've got to clear out, but they're just living their life. It would be pretty shitty for humans if there was some gigantic other species around that just squished us every time they decided they didn't like our presence. So rather than kill them, I do try and catch them and sling them outside again. So yeah, tried and tested method of putting a glass over them, and if they're on the floor, you need a bit of card to slide underneath. If they're on a wall or a ceiling, I can just about get away without the piece of card. Getting quite adept at it. This bugger was so big that his legs barely fit inside the rim of the pint glass. It was unbelievable. Thankfully it was just about big enough to go in. He didn't put up a struggle or suddenly move. It's when they suddenly put on a burst of speed that I really don't like him in that case. So yeah, he went in quite enough. I don't know if you'll have ever seen Phil Jupiter's sketch about spiders. It's a long one. It goes on for about half an hour. It is on YouTube. I think split up into different sections. And he definitely doesn't like spiders. And he classes them as category 1, 2 or 3, 3 being big enough to actually, if you find them in the bath, they're taking a bath, according to Phil. So it wasn't that big, but it was certainly bigger than category 2, so I'm calling it a category 3. And in Phil's world, that is where you simply board the house up and move away to somewhere else entirely. And yeah, I posted a picture of this thing on Facebook, and a friend commented on very much along the same lines that it was fucking hell, time to burn the house down territory. If I get enough of a rage worked up about my almost inevitable failure to get the rat items in this episode, I might burn the house down, but it will be a rage quit thing rather than because of the spider who's now safely outdoors, and to be honest, probably find him sneaky ways to work his way back into the house. But yeah, that was my my unwelcome house guest for the evening. I hope it's the last we'll see of them. So yeah, what are we doing in Enter the Gungeon? We are trying to build up enough cash to get to be able to buy the rat keys. Need 115 shell casings for that, so it's about 50 we got in a minute, which is well on the way. And we've got enough keys to open the oubliette. The oubliette is very likely somewhere we need to go to ensure we get enough cash to go in and hopefully build up a stash of weapons along the way. So unfortunately that cost of the key is enough to really prevent many additional purchases going on. Unfortunately, the rat fight is hard enough that additional purchases, certainly additional weapons, are really needed to give yourself a fighting chance against the rat there. So we've got 2 green chests in here, which we could open. We've also got a blue chest that dropped earlier on. I forgot about that one when I was busy whittering on about this Dwayne Johnson spider. And oh, here the entrance to the oubliette as well, which is fairly straightforward when there aren't any enemies in the room that are going to burst the barrel on us. So up we go, put the fire out. So that's basically all we can actually do in the level for the time being, unless we want to open one of the chests or maybe buy one of the weapon in the shop. The membrane. The membrane's not too bad. It's not too good either. I think I'm going to take a chance on opening one of the chests and hope there's a key drop after the boss fight. Hopefully this will be a weapon rather than an item. And it's an item which possibly puts a bit of a dent in the plan. What's more, it's an item that's not going to really be terribly beneficial. It's improves your damage for sequential kills, but we're only going to be going into fight one enemy, which we're going to do with the starter pistol. Makes life a little hard. In fact, technically we might be able to get sequential kills, what with there being a Chancellor. Oh, I'm on fire. That was unfortunate. Didn't get to roll and put the fire out quick enough there, unfortunately. So yeah, that's kissed goodbye to the flawless victory. The extra heart container that you get when you pick up a master round for the flawless victories. Ooh, that's definitely a time to blank, getting trapped in the corner. Realistically, should be using the blanks to try and salvage the flawless victories. Sort of pointless using them up after the event once you've been hit, but on the other hand, it may also be needed to actually keep me alive for the remainder of this boss fight, because the drawback to taking them on with the starter pistol just about squeaked through there, and that was a bit of a lucky dodge roll as well. The drawback with the starter pistol is it's a good enough weapon for most room clearing for probably the first 2 or 3 floors in the case of the gunslinger, but it's definitely not a swift boss killer. It will do the job, as you've just seen, but the longer a boss fight goes on, the more likelihood there is that you're going to get hit, as I've just so ably demonstrated. All we've got is that the grenade launcher, triple crossbow. Okay, and we're up to 61 cash as well, so it's actually better than I might have expected, considering I have already made a purchase. And we didn't get a key there, unfortunately, so we're going to have to buy another one. There was another one, wasn't there? Yeah, okay, again a little bit of a setback, but hopefully between the oubliette and the second floor it should help get towards that 115 total. And the fewer times that we get hit, the better the cash drops tend to be. So I'm just going to quickly check for secret rooms. That didn't seem to be showing any signs of cracking, so it's probably not there. Only got the one blank left to actually try and find it. Not there. Other chest room, we'll destroy the chest while we're here, since we don't have the means to open it anymore. Well, we do, but it's that or the oubliette, and the oubliette is my choice. And no such luck at getting Sir Junkin there either. No, I think that's just the crossbow bolts landing in the wall. Looked a little bit like a crack developing. It can sometimes be really hard to tell, but no, it doesn't look like we're going to get a secret room there either. If you've watched any amount of these videos before, you will probably know my MO for trying to find the secret rooms is have a look in the 2 chest rooms and have a look in the exit lift area as well, and then if there's no signs there, just take a bit of a punt on letting a blank off in the shop and seeing if anything comes off that. Thought I heard the noise there. I did hear the noise there. for once, it's actually paid off, and there's a secret room coming off the shop, and we don't need a key to open that. So there we are, a little bit of health that actually isn't any good, and the Winchester rifle. Do seem to be getting a lot of repeat items of late. I don't really understand why that is. There should be hundreds of items that could come our way. For a game that relies so heavily on RNG, random number generation, if you don't know the abbreviation, you'd probably expect to see more of the hundreds of items rather than the same few, which seem to be making repeat appearances for me lately. So one more chest there to junk. Probably will literally just be junk that we get out of it, but you never know. No, more health that I can't use. Okay, so off to the oubliette, which is over here. Or the entrance is over here, rather. So yeah, slightly early days to tell whether it's going particularly well or not. I would consider it to be going a bit better if we'd actually picked up the master round off the first floor, because as much extra health as possible is also a boon to being able to survive the rat fight. As I think I mentioned, really not very good at it. Assuming we even get that far. Okay, with this series, because it is so very dependent on me getting to the rat fight, I don't know whether to sort of upload episodes where I don't actually make it into the rat fight for whatever reason, because ultimately I know the quest itself is doomed to end in failure in that particular run. So it's like, do you guys want to see the content, or should I just put it on the cutting room floor and move on to yet another attempt? So I think it's one attempt that I've spared you from seeing so far. Well, yeah. Those aftershock explosions can be a real pig. There we go. Right, the shop's open. Probably not going to be able to make any further purchases now, otherwise the 115 will be an absolute bust. That's turned up for me recently as well. You know, a shield is a useful thing to have in any big fight, boss battle or the rat fight itself. But I did try using that one recently, and it seemed to sort of stick me in position, and I hadn't anticipated that. I thought you could sort of hide behind it rather than be tied to a particular location. So when the effects of the shield ran out, it just left me a bit vulnerable to enemy fire, and I took a hit anyway. So the one thing a shield's supposed to do is shield you, and it definitely didn't on that occasion. So I didn't think it was super valuable, but I'm not necessarily always using items to their absolute best, because the game is not particularly transparent about exactly what things do or what's the best tactic with which to use them. It very much leaves it up to you to learn, and without outside assistance, sometimes you don't sort of realise all the finer points. Like, I mean, you've seen me destroying chests. I didn't know for quite a while that you could do that. I knew you were supposed to stick a shot into them to test if they were a mimic or not. I didn't realise that if you stuck, I think it's about 10 shots in, that the chest would be destroyed, and that sometimes destroying the chest is a worthwhile thing to do. I mean, there is a slight chance of actually getting the contents out of a chest by shooting your way in. It's a low success rate, to be sure, but if you haven't got any keys available, or can't afford keys that are available, then, you know, why not? It's worth a shot, isn't it? And if you get junk instead, the junk does have uses. Limited uses, but uses nonetheless. So you might as well, yeah, I mean, perhaps the tactic of shooting chests to prove they're not mimics is something you don't realise either. Again, the game doesn't tell you, but that's why YouTube can be a pretty valuable resource, and also the wiki for Enter the Gungeon. I can't remember the exact title of the page or the URL or anything like that, but if you Google or a search engine of your preference, Enter the Gungeon wiki, I'm sure you'll find it, and it's a very comprehensive resource. It is very useful to sort of work your way, or, sort of get tactics built up and understand what is a good weapon and what's not a good weapon. The same for the items as well. Okay, the old crest is locked away. I haven't got a particularly good selection of chests. We've got brown and blue. Brown being the most basic chest that you can get. Blue being only one better, so neither of them are particularly good. We've got one key. I'll probably have a crack at opening at least one of those to see what's in it, although I'm also slightly conscious that you need a key to get into the subway that leads into the rat fight. I've done the stupidest thing ever. Not a tricky trap room, but I didn't actually need to cover the traps in any way, shape or form. I just needed to make a right turn at the entrance to the room, so that was putting myself at unnecessary risk, although like I say, it is a pretty easy trap room anyway. It's literally just wait for the log to get out of your way and keep going and you'll be absolutely fine. That's quite a generous haul of cash there. So that might mean that there is the scope to make a purchase here and still have enough left for the 115 eventually as well. So perhaps counterintuitively, I'm going to try opening the brown chest and hope that it gives us a bonus key. Results! There we go. And this is another one I keep getting recently, the clear Guanstone, which I keep mistaking for the platinum bullets. Platinum bullets would have been much better than the clear Guanstone. Despite the fact I keep seeing it, I can't remember what it is it does. Now that's the Scrambler, which I would have said is far better than a blue chest item. But no complaints, I will take it, and I'm going to use it as the go-to weapon against the boss here, because I find it's got home in bullets or eggs, because it's an egg-based weapon, which makes perfect sense in the world of the Gungeon. And yeah, they all home in and they do poison damage as well. It's a good weapon at the best of times, but every weapon is better in the hands of the gunslinger because of the synergies that it gets. So it will home for everybody. I don't think it'll do. Oh, yeah, you don't need the flawless, but I prefer not to be taking the hits. Yeah, it won't do the poison damage for everybody. It will send homing shots for everybody. It won't deal quite as much damage for the other characters, I don't think. There we are. That's it. That's it. Dead. And yeah, 19 rounds. I mean, that's not bad, is it? I think I just lost a damage bonus by changing weapons to ultimately quite pointlessly kill that little blobby thing. It's just satisfying to kill it. And that's some ring of chest friendship, is it, or something? Mimic friendship. And again, I've had this a few times recently, so I think that just stops mimics from attacking you if you do encounter them. We haven't seen any so far in this run, which is all well and good, because they can catch you by surprise, and nobody likes that. So 112, yeah, looking very good for the cash to buy the rat key. So what that puts down to 82. gonna take that. It's as cheap as we'll find a key, and I know we need one, and I would like to think we should be able to make enough cash to reach 115 on the second floor. And I will have egg on my face if that's not the case. Right, have a quick check for secret rooms. Yeah, I can't really see that chest room having a secret room come off it. This top wall potentially doesn't look too promising though. Did I just throw a sword at that? Didn't expect that. Doesn't look like it's there either. We'll give the shop a go. No, I thought it'd be a bit too much to get 2 shop-based secret rooms on the bounce. I mean, there isn't necessarily a secret room. There probably is, but it could come off any single other room within the dungeon. And if chances are you'll find them by mistake by taking a hit when you got armor, which sets off a blank effect, or potentially having a stray shot and noticing that it cracks the wall, but I didn't notice that on the way around. So yeah, I'll just assume there are none. Never know any better, and head off to the second floor and try and pick up the remainder of that 115 shell casings. Hopefully some key drops to be able to open chests and get some better weaponry, and also hopefully a flawless victory against the second floor boss so we can get extra health, because I think undeniably that's going to be needed to improve chances in the rat fight. And indeed getting to the rat, the rat's lair can be quite tricky to actually traverse safely depending on what rooms you get. There's don't suppose that opened a secret room, did it? No, it didn't. Okay, jolly good. Right, yes, I got really distracted by taking the hit there. Ooh, missed that coming in. So, yes, the rat lair itself, there's, I don't know, maybe maybe not even as many as a dozen different room combinations you can get. I want to get that key in. Where is it? Did we get it? I think we were just too late. Oh no, I've got a key in the inventory, so maybe I did. Maybe I did. I didn't think I was quite quick enough off the mark there. Yeah, so there's maybe a dozen different rooms you can get for the rat fight, and depending on what weapons you've got and your abilities, obviously. Oh, I would like the strafe gun. I've had that in a recent video. But everything he's got for sale would be nice. Definitely can't afford all of them, and no means of stealing just yet. So they're probably just gonna have to sit there taunting me. Remembering, of course, we still need 115 to spend in the shop on the Nord key there. There's some extra health. Definitely not going to be able to get that. Again, short of stealing it. I mean, it's not impossible. We'll open a chest and be able to steal with that. While we do need a key to get into the rat floor, that's not until on the 3rd floor, so it's not as if we can't afford to spend or use the key that we've got in the inventory at the moment. But yeah, so sometimes actually just going through the rat's lair can kill you off before you ever reach the rat fight itself. I think in recognition of that, when you do get to just before the rat fight, it does give you 2 full hearts of health to replenish yourself with, and some ammo containers as well, so you can restock the better weapons that you've got as well. So it's one of the few instances of the game actually playing slightly fair with you, because it's a tough old game. Can't get away from that. Yeah, would have rather got armour rather than heart health there, although it might be useful later on. Gets put into storage for the time being at least. Okay. Is that the first chest we've seen on this floor? Yes it is. And there's the crest room there. That's right, I don't think I mentioned the crest on the oubliette. It was locked away. If we had been able to pick that up, we could put it on the altar. So oh no, we have taken a hit on this floor, haven't we? So we'd have lost the old crest anyway, and that would be the means of accessing the Abbey of the True Gun, which is this secret room that comes off the 2nd floor. But it's usually not worth visiting, because it's the boss is so hard, or takes so much ammo, that it's more likely to kill you than it is to be beneficial to visit there. That shot homed in on the wrong enemy as far as I was concerned. Is that going to die before it gets to me? No. Okay, yeah, so I probably won't be... Well, it's not a choice on this run. Definitely not going to be going to the Abbey of the True Gun, but most times I probably wouldn't choose to go there. It's not one I can be certain of beating, and you need to have earned the cash before you get there, so it's not as if it's a help in that regard. It would probably give you some nice items. Now, obviously I'm going to be opening the red chest. What do we have? I was going to say that shit, a cardboard box, but it does give us the opportunity to steal stuff, so it's not shit. If you've not played Metal Gear Solid, you can use a cardboard box in some sequences in that to hide away from enemies. Despite it being a fairly rubbish disguise, it does the job. So I can't say that I want the plunger. It's going to be the health that I want here. In fact, let's, before this backfires on me, buy the rat key, just in case it only leaves me the option to steal it, which will you can really only get away with your first theft from the shopkeepers. So I don't know if I need to activate the box outside the shop or not. No, we're alright. So I'm having that heart lunchbox. Thanks, Bello. Sorry, dude. If I was to try to take anything else off him now, he would get mad, and I don't really want to enrage him, but I'm going to go steal stuff off Goopenstein. And it's definitely going to be the strafe gun. Now, since I'm unlikely to see him again this run, I've got absolutely no qualms whatsoever about trying to nick something else off him as well. The chances are it's probably not going to work, but why the hell not? We're going to go for the weapon rather than the potion of gun friendship. I don't speak Goopenstein, but presumably that hasn't worked. I think if we leave and come back, he's shut up shop. But like I say, we're not going to see him again, so I don't mind too much about leaving him crying. That was a very errant first shot, but at least all the homing aspect of it got to him. Okay, and there's the boss fight. So I haven't got any keys. I'll leave the blue chest in case there's a key drop coming out of this boss fight. I don't know if it's beneficial to be hidden before the boss fight starts, so give it a go, can't hurt, can it? Okay, well he doesn't seem to have spotted me just yet. It hasn't stopped him firing. Oops, I was pressing the active item button rather than the shoot button there, which is clearly quite dumb. Hopefully the scrambler is going to help us. It's... Whoa, that was quite close. It's all... oh, no. It's doing a good job of taking out the additional segments, because it's sometimes homing in on them rather than the snake itself, which is still beneficial. I mean, I'd sooner that it focused on the snake, but at least stops the snake buffing itself with the by eating the additional segments. What have we got there? Is that the skull spitter? Yes, it is. I think that's quite a powerful weapon as well. So we could be in a better position in terms of heart health if I was better at getting the flawless victories. To be fair, I think I only took one hit on both fights, but if you take one hit, you might as well take 5, so long as you can still survive and recover the health off 5. Didn't get a key, did we? No. Okay, let's junk the chest and look for secret rooms, and then head off to the 3rd floor. Yeah, trolling me with health I can't use, so we didn't have any opportunity to sell those to Vampire or anything, did we? Does not look that way. Okay, secret rooms anywhere? Possibly the top or side wall here. Doesn't look to be that one. Or that one. Nope. Exit room. This crossbow's got pretty low ammo left. I think that's purely from checking for secret rooms rather than any actual combat. Let's try the shop again, although I'd be surprised if we get it again. Nope. Just gonna pick a room at random. That one's got an external wall and there's a teleport in it. Nope. Okay then, 3rd floor, here we come. So did buy the rat key, yep, and decent weapon setup. So yeah, one more potential chance to get extra health by a flawless against the 3rd floor boss itself. Although it becomes, for me at least, probably most people, really less likely to get flawlesses as you go further and further into the dungeon, as the bosses get more and more difficult. Very much depends which boss you get on the 3rd floor, and the tank's not too bad. The other ones are less likely to avoid taking a hit. It's not to say I've got any definite prospects of avoiding taking a hit on the tank either, but we'll see. Oh, did I get cursed there or not? Not 100% sure. I certainly got hit. Yeah, these cursed ceramics are a pain in the arse. Because I don't like getting cursed, and if you walk into those purple bits, you'll get cursed. And like I said, I think I did pick up a slight curse level. You never really know for certain because it's a hidden statistic. I guess if we start seeing jammed enemies, it'll become more apparent, although to be fair, I should only really be on a curse level of 1, which isn't necessarily high enough to... Oh, damn. Yeah, curse level 1 isn't really high enough to expect to see many jammed enemies along the way. Yeah, one shot took out that entire wave. How nice. I've got some health there as well. It sent it absolutely flying. I suppose technically he just did a heart attack. Helpful to be able to take those things out from a distance. I mean, they're not too hard to avoid normally, but when there's 4 of them all like that, it can make for a bit of a cluttered room, and trying to find the safe spots gets hard. Corridor. I thought there was an object in the first map. I think it's just a sort of strange bit of architecture for the room. It's sort of a cannibalistic attack, that, isn't it? Using eggs to kill birds. Okay, yeah, this is the level where you really need to be very, very careful about what you keep in reserve. So we've got the Nord key, which is the main thing, but you also need a regular key and 2 blanks to access the rack fight as well. So the chances are I'm probably not going to be opening chests on this floor unless we get very lucky with the keys. Ooh, that was definitely the wrong way to jump, but at least it was dying. So, is there a key for sale? There is, and I've got enough money for it if need be. Not too sure what the turbo gun is. I presume it's fast. Oh, well, we can steal things. We can steal things. So, yeah, I'll leave the thievery till a little bit later on. Just sort of weighing up options. So if we do start stealing things, we may not actually be able to buy that key. It may be that we are heavily reliant on that particular key. What's that chance kin gonna give us? Pretty sure I got it. Ammo, that's no bad thing. Let's get that filled up. Partial refill to all the other guns as well. So having talked about getting a big spider in the house earlier, sure enough there's a big spider on screen as well. They're quite a common enemy in computer games as well. Oh, how much is this? 35, which would not leave enough for that key, so we'll leave it for now, Winchester. Although, I'd like to have a crack. I mean, we ought to be able to get a few hits. With this room layout as well, it's not immediately obvious, but you can actually ricochet off the brickwork of the room rather than just the coloured blocks in his game, and I think that allows you a couple of reasonably straightforward hits. I could be wrong. I'm really not very good at the little shooting game. Oh, do not be on fire. And yeah, as I was rolling around trying to put myself out, I noticed a rat there, and somehow we've opened up or uncovered the hatch. So that's where that is. Good to know. Right, let's explore the rest of the floor and see where we're at and what we need and all the rest of it. Okay, there was something jammed there, but I think that was because there's the key we need. Good. I think that's because one of the enemies in that room jams other enemies rather than because of the curse levels that we got. Slightly lucky to get away with that, but we did. And the boss fight. So, do I want to nick stuff before going into the boss fight? Probably not a bad idea. I've got the key already, so yeah, it doesn't hurt to have guns, so I'll probably nick that. Table tech blanks sets off a blank every time you flip a table over, which can be reasonably useful during the course of normal gameplay. I'm trying to equate it to the rat fight because that's the ultimate aim of each of these missions. And the amulets trigger some sort of additional effect when you set off a blank, and almost certainly going to be using blanks when it comes to the rat fight, so I think having those would be handy. So I'm going to nick the gun. He must have seen me getting into the box. That's rubbish. Get out of the box. Get in the box. Oh, does it need to recharge? Bummer. Didn't think that was the case. Okay, we'll be doing the thievery after the boss fight in that case. Assuming it's a damage-based recharge, a boss fight ought to be more enough. And it is the tank, so hopefully we're in the shout. I'm going to have to do my damnedest to remember. No flawless. I thought it'd normally last a little bit longer than that before I got hit, but yeah, what I was saying was to remember not to fire off the blanks, because I'm going to need those two blanks to access the rat fight, and it's usually so instinctive to try and do a blank to protect yourself in a boss fight. Quite often slightly too late to actually have the desired effect. For me anyway. There we are. Again, one hit. I think it was just the one hit anyway. At least do get to top up the health and the ammo. And we get a weapon as well. It's not particularly bad, I don't think. So yeah, we'll have that, and then where is the shop? I will change into my box disguise outside the shop. Yeah, the little icon above his head means he's currently invisible, so we'll nick the gun. Again, this should work. He'll have forgotten about the previous floor's goings on, so we'll have that. Thank you. And we'll have your chaos amulet as well. Thank you. This is all adding curse because we're nicking things. So there we are. That was successful little bit of shoplifting, and it's just one key we've got, so we can't open the chests, but we'll go and junk them and check for secret rooms as well. and sacrifice damage multipliers along the way as well. Oh, that's the chamber gun, isn't it? Yes, it is. Which is a sort of close contact melee weapon on this particular floor. The chamber gun reflects the environment that it's in, and it should be devastating on bullet hell when you get that far. I had it there the other day for the first time ever, and it synergized with the master round, and stuck it on the version of the weapon that appears from an earlier floor rather than the Raiden coil style effect that I was expecting to get on bullet hell, and I couldn't figure out how to make it go to the version of the weapon I wanted, and ultimately ended up dying on that run as well, when I really thought it was supposed to be a bit of a guaranteed win if you should happen to pick up the chamber gun and get to bullet hell. So yeah, that wasn't the desired outcome. No evidence of secret rooms coming off the chest rooms here. So exit room. I don't think it's terribly likely to be off the left hand side. So yeah, we'll try the shop. Having nicked half the wares in the shop, I'm now just gonna... I am not going to blow shit up because I need those blanks. Actually, I can afford a replacement blank. Yeah, okay, what the hell, let's fire one off. Achieve Soddle, and then buy the other blank that we actually need. God, I am such an idiot. I'd have been really annoyed with myself if that had stopped us getting to the rat fight. It's so easy to do as well. You sort of fall into the same habits and use up resources that you need. Right, okay. Ideally, we'd have had several more bits of health going into this, or bits of armour as well, but we've got some pretty decent weapons, so you never know. Maybe this one won't end up on the cutting room floor. Or the digital equivalent thereof. I think I'm going to use the scrambler to go across the rat's lair. It seems to be pretty effective as a room clearer and as a boss weapon as well. But I'll probably be more reliant on the strafe gun in the rat fight itself. And being on the lookout for... oh, actually no, I might use the chamber gun. I think we'll give the chamber gun a try against the rat. I think that fires cheese at him and sort of slows him up in the same way that his own cheese gun does. We'll try putting the chamber gun to the test before the rat fight itself. Right, okay, so we've got an extra blank somehow. Don't know why that is. That must be some synergy that I've overlooked after all the fuss about having two available at all. Am I going to be able to pick up those? Do I want to? I'll have some ammo. I didn't see what the other one was. Maybe we didn't actually hit it. Just don't really want to be spending time in this room while the hammers are still active. Oh, bum. Never mind, the health can be topped up again. Oh, yeah, spiders! Yeah, I was saying spiders are a common enemy in a lot of computer games, so there's times when I go visit friends for gaming weekends, and the one of them is really arachnophobic, and to the extent even if a spider enemy appears in a computer game, she has to sit there and close her eyes for the duration of it, and almost every game I bring to their house has got bloody spiders in it. It's never by design, But yeah, like I say, they're quite a common thing. Oh, I did not want that skeleton to be regenerating. Didn't really want it to be there in the first place, actually. But so if I've been keeping careful enough track, I think that was right, left. So now it needs to be down, left. This will be embarrassing if I mess up the route I've done God knows how many times. The fact that it's an enemy-filled room does suggest it's probably still the right direction, although not necessarily. It's sometimes this floor is just so evil that even if you take a wrong direction, it is still going to punish you with a room full of enemies that you're not properly equipped to deal with. I think there'll be another jammed one of those even after dealing with that one. Yes, there is. Like I say, there's a sort of limited number of enemy configurations that you might expect to see on this floor. This is one of them, obviously. Right, that should be the last combat room, and we can fill up the health again quite nicely. Didn't actually remember to check out the chamber gun. Oh well, that's going to be an experiment, isn't it? So that's full. We're probably full on more or less all the weapons at this stage, actually. Really don't want to jinx myself, but I think with 4 blanks that have appeared along the way and some pretty decent weapons, might be in with a shout here. I'll hide in the box before we go in as well, not that that's necessarily going to do a great deal for us. Very short-lived invisibility period anyway. You reveal yourself just as soon as ever you jump out of the box. Oh, no. That's one of the ones that I can actually avoid. Less successful with the other ones. There we are. That's not a bad result for the first bit of this. For me, at least. So let's hope those 4 blanks are enough to keep me alive for this second phase. Another Metal Gear Solid reference with the big old mech. Try the cheese gun, see what it does. Oops. Right, that wasn't one of the ones I was expecting to have to use a blank for, but that one is. I don't like that one. Yeah, the cheese gun did seem to be jamming up his weapons a little bit, but not enough for my liking, so let's blank that one off there. I know it is possible to stay a bit more out of harm's way with that one, sort of leaping from circle to circle, but I'm not good at it. My preference is just to stay in the clear zone as long as possible. And oops, how are we doing? Are we on fire? Hopefully not. Blank just to give myself a bit of breathing space there. Probably have to use another blank. Oh god, I'm on my last bit of health and my last blank. Oh, I hate you, rat, I hate you. Yes, clearly did jinx myself by saying I was in with a good shout. Killed by my pride, sort of. Oh, it came before the fall. That was close. So I think his health was most of the way down as well, and then beyond that point it doesn't matter whether you beat Punch Out or not, although if the more keys you get out of him, the more likely it would have been to be able to open enough chests to find the missing rat items. So still the quest for the finished gun is going to be ongoing, but I think that was a pretty valiant effort. So it's going to get uploaded and you get to see it in due course. So thank you once again for watching, and yeah, there'll be another episode in this series. Stay tuned. Bye for now.